Oh, there we go, Drea. We're here.
We are so here.
We're here. And welcome everyone who is joining us live or watching us on demand. Welcome to our first reboot of Website Throwdown Live. And so excited to have you here. I'm Joshua Harrell, Chief Revenue Officer with World Via Travel Network. And this is the lovely Drea Maltez from our marketing team over here. And this is your first time doing a show.
It is. It's my first time doing a show, but like honestly, I am glad because I am really excited about it and I'm excited that it's with you too.
Oh,
So yeah,
fantastic. And we've got gloves on
we
because
do.
even though it's not rough, we wanted some purple gloves to go with the purple power, right?
Yeah, something about it just
Yes.
spoke to the soul.
And we have a lovely guest for our first reboot back. I'll figure out the language on
Yeah.
that. So we have a fantastic, brave guest, Catherine from Best Life Travel. Catherine, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. I'm excited to do it.
Yay.
Now, Catherine, tell us a little bit about you and about your business.
Well, I've been doing it just under 2 years and working with doing cruises, all inclusives, trying to move into luxury.
Fantastic. Now, where do you live?
Ohio, Cleveland.
Ohio. Fantastic. All right. So Catherine and I go way back. So I'm really excited that
No.
she's here. Catherine, I said you're very brave. So for everybody who's watching this for the first time, I'm going to just talk about this and then we'll dive right into Catherine's website. So the website Throwdown Live is where our fantastic members, our brave members, say, you know what, I'd like feedback on my website. And I don't mind if other members are watching and get to glean some ideas from it. And when we've done this in the past, people have gone back and watched the past episodes. And in fact, we had one member who did it like 2 years apart. And it was so cool to see the changes that she made from the first time and then what she did beyond that like first visit, like how she continued to enhance it. So something about your website, it should always be evolving. It's never finished. If
Yeah.
it's finished, I think you've
We're
got
missing
you're
something.
missing something. Like it's got to always evolve because you're evolving and in technology is evolving, our experience with websites is evolving. So you want to constantly evolve it. And by kind of doing these sessions live, you really get an opportunity to, we're going to talk to Catherine. We're going to go where we've loaded up her website, but we haven't poked around yet. We're going to poke around live and we're going to hear Catherine say what she doesn't like about her website or maybe what she wants to know specifically about like what we think about how she could handle certain things. And there might be things that we explore that she really loves. And we're like, well, I understand why you love it. But as somebody who's never been to it before,
Mhm.
it doesn't work the way you think it does. So there's all types of things that you can experience and discover on this journey. The one thing I do ask is Catherine has said Drea and I are allowed to give her feedback on her site. So if you have some opinions on her site when you're poking around, I mean, definitely ask questions in the chat, share your thoughts, but be mindful. This is a big deal for someone to share their website to the world. So try to give very constructive criticism or give a big TM for travel marketeering if it's something that you're like, way to go. So
Yeah.
does that sound good to you, Trey? Is there anything I'm
Yeah.
missing?
No, I
No?
think I think we're good.
You think we're good? And Catherine, you feel good about it?
I'm ready.
All right. So we are going to dive in. If you guys want to I mean, obviously I'm gonna share it on the screen, but if you want to pop over to Catherine's website, it's bestlifetravel.us, and I'm gonna share it in just a moment. Stand by. Oh, let's see. We got let's see. What do you think about? Oh, sorry. Teresa has a question and I'm going to answer it right now. She said, what do you think about websites that are
Mhm.
done for you that you can't customize? So, Teresa, I'm going to say, I think they're fine. I think it's great. And if you do not have, um, if building a website is not something that you feel comfortable with, not having a website is a problem. So I always say launch with a one-page website, and you can always add from there. But definitely have the website. So if it's done for you and you can't customize it, the things that you're missing out are the ability to tell your story, right? So if you have something that is available to a lot of people, then it's chances are you're not going to enhance your discoverability by Google noticing that it's a brand new website with new content. But it's still going to help you close the deal if somebody's looking for you. So I don't think they're bad, but with tools like sites that we have, it's so easy for you to build a website, and they even come preloaded with content that then it's so easy for you to address. So I hope that helps you, Teresa. And now we're going to, I just realized, sorry guys, you can jump into the Q&A or the chat, and I'm going to finally go over here and share Catherine's website. She's like, I wanted to do this, so can we get on to this?
Can we?
Can we make
we
this
move
happen? Okay, hold on. There we go. I think I have got it. Okay, so we are sharing right now, and let me just move some things out of the way. All right. So Catherine, let's look at how long have you had your website in place?
This particular one, only a few months, because I just started with sites.
Okay, fantastic. All right. So first thoughts, I'm going to say I love your logo as a logo, but on a website, when you go for a logo that is more vertical, so more like a square, right? It looks really small. If you think about other websites, like even Amazon, it's a horizontal logo, so it goes wider than it does in its height. So in this instance, I would probably just move that compass over to the left and put Best Life Travel, remove your tagline. So your logo, Best Life Travel, the name of your company is really big, as big as it can go. And so it fits in that white space between the blue sky and the top of the browser. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I also think that the bottom that says discover the world your way, that's what it is. So it's a little difficult to read. So we're losing like legibility on it as well.
100%.
Just because it gets smaller, right? Like with a smaller logo and everything.
Yeah, so I think if you just went with, I like the icon, so I wouldn't remove that. I just think it should go over to the side, get rid of your tagline, and just have your main company name in the upper left. I think that's going to give you a more consistent, it's going to give you more of a consistent brand experience and very easy for you to clearly see. We're about, what do you say, maybe 2.5 feet away from the screen.
Yeah, we're very close.
So we're not as close as somebody who would normally be viewing your site, but it also, we do like an 8-foot back test where you stand 8 feet away from the website, and does it signal the things you want it to signal? Well, if we stepped 8 feet back, I don't even know what we would see the logo. So you are not the only one. I will tell you, I have looked at so many websites that have beautiful logos, but the logos don't look as good if they're not horizontal. Okay.
All right.
All right. So we're trucking along here.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna, before we get into the navigation at the very top, I'm gonna tell you about your hero image here with the palm trees. Tell me what you're wanting to say with palm trees.
Just relaxation, warmth, because it's cold.
Yes, in Ohio it is. We're actually getting a little warmer here in
Finally.
Atlanta, so everybody's getting a little stir crazy. So I get that that's what you're trying to say here, but I have seen it over and over again, and there's even been studies done that you want people to see themselves in your imagery, in particular this hero image. So if I stood back from this 8 feet, or even right where I'm standing, I can't tell that you give people this relaxing travel experience. Maybe there's a beach vibe,
Mhm.
maybe there's a destination vibe here, but it isn't as clear as if you had an image with a person, so on the beach,
Mhm.
with their feet in the sand, or what I love even more is if you can get a picture of someone looking to camera and I just see in the background blue skies.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily even need to see palm trees, but if I can see a happy person that looks relaxed, well rested, that is what you're ultimately selling, is that feeling. So there's all sorts of places where you can buy stock images, and they're not. I mean, I haven't. I've seen some for as cheap as $5. It really depends on
Yeah.
where you're looking. Normally, Shutterstock is a good one.
Mhm.
iStock is a good
Yep.
one. To just look around to see if you can find an image. If you don't have one already,
Yeah.
like if you don't have a picture of a family member or a friend where you've been traveling, or like I said, I don't even need to know that they're in
Mhm.
Mexico or the Caribbean, as long as I can see a happy face, that right there is golden. So there's places for you to get those images, and then also I would check some of the all-inclusive media and marketing sites because they will generally have images of people on their property, models
Yeah. Yeah.
probably.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And those are easier to use. Each company is going to be a little different in their permissions, but a little easier to use than anything from a cruise line. A cruise line is very locked and loaded. Like you can't crop it, you can't do anything with it.
Mhm.
So I would look at a couple of things like that, or if you can't get a picture of a person, if you can get a picture of a specific destination or a landmark within a
Yeah.
destination that even if people don't recognize it, it's it's not ambiguous.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily Miami.
right.
It's something specific. So the reason why I'm spending so much time on both of these things is I make the decision within 6 seconds if I'm going to stay on the site. So I need to see where I'm visiting, and I need to see what they do. And the best way that I've found to demonstrate that is to show somebody in that moment
Mhm.
what you're selling. Does that make sense?
Yep,
Awesome. All right, so discover the world your way
Yep.
is the headline.
Yep.
I think that that's pretty
That's
clear.
yeah, that's also the little slogan at the bottom of her logo. So it's good that you have it in there as well.
Yeah.
Which like I feel like it can make you feel a little bit like more comfortable with, parting away with it on the logo side of things because you still have it in like your banner, right? Like your hero banner
right.
at the top.
And then I love, love, love that you have a call to action
Right there.
right
Yeah.
here. What I would love even more is because hey guys, I always say this, I have an opinion. I'll share it if you ask me. Um, so what I would love even more if it was a little more conversational,
Yeah.
like let's talk. So it feels a little more fun.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I'd love to see, and I don't know if you have this anywhere else on your site, is if you have it connected to Calendly where they can schedule an appointment with you. Right, that would be an excellent way to say, let's talk, and then it immediately sends them over to where they can pick their time to talk to you. Um,
Oh, okay, yeah,
because that, and I haven't clicked on this button yet, so
Yeah.
whether it opens a form or it sends an email, it's not necessarily getting me in the frame of mode that I'm going to talk to her
Yeah.
at a specific time and I don't have to think about it because many people are visiting websites on their phone in between t-ball games or different things,
Lunch breaks, anything.
lunch breaks, it breaks anything. So if I feel like I can go ahead and schedule time with you and I don't have to think about
Yeah.
it, it goes on my calendar, then it's done and dusted.
Yep.
I am excited to talk to Catherine.
Yep.
okay.
Awesome. Big points to you for having your telephone number in the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah.
So I love that for calls to action. buttons that, you know, whether it is schedule time with me, let's talk, contact, you know, request a quote, whatever it is. I normally like that there, but hands down, it's subliminal. When we see telephone numbers, we feel like it's a real business, like there's a real human on the other
Yeah.
end, because nobody
Yeah.
wants to talk
I
on the
agree.
phone. Nobody wants to talk on the phone. So I may not use it, but at least I'm like, okay, it's not hidden. Have you ever looked to validate like a shopping site and you're like, I can't even, there's not even a way, I don't even know where this company is.
Yeah, it's a lot of that, and I think like it really does help with credibility, right? Because sometimes when I'm looking for support or
Yes.
anything, I'm like, can somebody help me? Like, I just need to know that I can call somewhere, and it's like click here, and then you click here, and then finally you get to the point. So you want to make it visible, right? Like the people know that if they wanted to do it right there, they could just hit that button and just call.
Yeah. So good job
Yeah.
there. Good placement. Love it, love it, love it. Let's look at the top navigation before we scroll any further. So from the home uh, button, we've got terms and conditions. I might link that in the bottom navigation versus having it.
I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Okay. Well, you know what, since this is sites, we should be able to to move that page around. So let's come back to that because we should be able to make a page and then just create a link at the bottom for you to click to go to it versus having it here
Okay.
as a drop down, because it's weird because there are certain people that visit a website and they actually go from left to right. So they click on the things. So I always say put your most important things in the front, and then next steps, and then anything that's additional pages, link to it from within the site or down at the bottom navigation. So for you, you've got probably some information about who you are down below on the homepage, but I might suggest having an about
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
up
say.
here that allows people to just dig into you a little bit.
Okay.
So right now I can see you do all inclusives, but then it goes right to blog and then to cruises and then to Europe. So I'd probably move blog to the end because that's more of somebody getting to know you
Right.
and diving a little bit deeper. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to see that you do all inclusives, cruises, and Europe.
Okay. I was doing alphabetically because it just, for my eyes, it just makes, you know, the ABC.
I get it. I get it.
It's a tough balance for sure to like find something that you're like, this makes sense to me, but like user experience wise, right? You have to,
Yeah.
it's hard. I mean, I feel like it happens to to a lot of us, but yeah.
So we know that you do all inclusives, cruises in Europe, and then the blog is a great way for you to have that additional content that you're building to help increase your discoverability. Great for you to link to from social media. Very, very important to have a blog that you're constantly growing. So love to see that you have it here. I would think in order of importance, I would do about, because people want to know more about you, and they aren't necessarily going to scroll. Some will, some won't. So if they're really interested, they're going to go about, and then they're going to dig into the other topics. So I would just order this in priority. So if cruises were more a part of your business than all inclusives, I would even put cruises in front. You know, go with where you're winning. So all inclusives, cruises, Europe, and that I would just change the order and I would move the terms and conditions just to link off the bottom. But that's an easy fix. You've built the page, so that's an easy fix. All right, so let's scroll. 99% of people that are visiting your site are not going to scroll. So the navigation is super important. But once they scroll, think about how you scroll. They scroll just a little bit, and this is my very first scroll. So is the next section of this going to compel me to pull the trigger? What do you think, Catherine?
Section is one I kind of not sure about. And the
Fantastic.
picture I can't
So
stand.
I'm glad I set it up that way.
Yes. I can't
Okay.
stand the picture either. So
Okay. So but that's easy for us to,
Yeah.
that you can change that out to something. In fact, I would change it out to a picture of you.
I was gonna say if you're comfortable, right? Or maybe like a picture of you traveling if you have that, you know, like you of you or your family, your friends, anything that can kind of like show who you are. Because I think once we look at a like if someone is researching, right, to like go into a travel like looking for a travel advisor, I think when you see someone is a lot better than seeing a stock image. And I think also the traveling, yes, plain, but it's also not connected with what you're really looking to do.
Right.
It's like all inclusives and, you know, cruises and stuff like that. So there's just a tiny bit of disconnect there, but it's very easy fix.
I feel like you've got to have a picture of you on vacation.
Okay.
That's fun.
Well, I was asking if you had a picture, but I'm glad you took the note. All right, so I'm going to read this out loud. And guys, we were just saying this earlier. Whenever you're looking at marketing copy and evaluating it, like you write it one way, you might even throw it into an AI generator to help finesse it a little bit. But reading it out loud helps you catch some things that you might dismiss when you're just reading it to yourself. So I'm going to read it out loud,
Yeah.
and let's see where this takes us. Okay, so about best life travel. Welcome to Best Life Travel, where your dream vacations come to life, specializing in unforgettable cruises, enchanting European getaways, and luxurious all-inclusive experiences. We believe that every journey should be a celebration of life. Let us help you discover the best of the world while enjoying seamless travel experiences. Sit back, relax, and let us plan your best life adventure. It's pretty nice.
I like it.
Did you write that yourself, Catherine?
Oh, content creator is great.
There you go.
I love it. There's a plug for World Via Pros content creator. I think it's beautiful. So,
That's nice.
Catherine, let me ask you about your business. Is this, do you have other team members or people that are working on the business with you, or is it just you?
Name.
Okay. So, knowing that, we're using let's see, let us plan. So again, we don't have a picture of you, so you aren't in the equation yet. And you're selling it as the company versus your passion that you're going to infuse in this. So a subtle tweak to what content creator helped you develop would be, let's see, I believe that every journey should be a celebration of life. Let me help you discover the best of the world. So sit back and let me plan your best life adventure. And then have your name at the bottom, Catherine, president and owner, whatever the title
Yeah.
is that you go by. And then that's if we could have a picture of you with friends or by yourself traveling, that right there to me, that makes this a very
Yeah.
unique website. I know immediately on that first scroll, here's a real human that I can work with, and this makes me excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love she's just taking all the notes.
Yeah,
I
just
love
writing
it.
it down.
I love it. I
Great
love it.
time.
Catherine, so when you said you weren't so sure about this section before we got to it, was that mainly about the image, or what was your concern?
Well, if that was the right spot for
100%.
it. Okay.
100%. That, especially when you have a beautiful hero image, and you're assuming the sale there. You're like, oh, this image is so great, it's going to make you take action right away. Most of the time, that's not going to happen. So if the signals when I look at the website tell me, oh, this is a legitimate website, the next thing is my little scroll. So that's where your picture, you signing off on this and it being a personal message to the user is going to hook them in. And then I'm going to go further.
Yeah.
then I'm going to go further. And underneath that would be a great spot for another one of those buttons to say,
Another.
schedule time to talk with me, or let's talk, or submit your, or even if you have like a downloadable, like download my 12 tips for visiting Europe, something like that. Anything that you can do to add value and make it easy so someone doesn't have to scroll up to get to information. Now, the great thing about it is you do have the telephone number that's going to show up in that top navigation all the time. So
Yeah.
people can definitely call you. Do you get, I know you said the website's only been up for a couple of months, but do you currently get phone calls, phone call inquiries?
Yes, I have had some. And anytime anybody calls, I always ask where they saw got my number. So if it's a person or, Facebook or Instagram or whatever, but I wanted to make sure the website would work.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay. And here it looks like we've got some promotions. Loving that. And then here is a breakdown of how we work with you. Why was this so important for you to put this here, Catherine?
To explain to people how it goes, because a lot of people don't understand.
I bet people watching this are like, that is a great idea, because the way this is broken out, it makes it easy for me to understand. It's not like a giant dissertation on your terms and conditions, and it makes it easy because a lot of people don't even, if they've never worked with a travel advisor, they don't know what is it like? How do you make money? How, how is this different? Am I going to pay more working with
Right.
you? So this is, even if I don't read the details of it, you've now acknowledged that I probably have that in the back of my mind. And I think that's for anybody. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say I would almost switch this up like after the about section.
Oh, great
Because
idea.
I think that it's a start planning. That's another little like CTA like call to action that she has. So it could kind of like help compensate for the one that's missing over here. So you move how it works, then you move down your promotions like that. People are not because they would have to scroll down to see how it works and then go back up to the
Right.
promotions. And when you're thinking of user experience, like we're all just moving so fast through a website that I think it's valuable to put it up there like straight away. Like, hey, here's a, but I would kind of change it to say like how it works. It would probably be like, no, I think that works, or something like how we no, that because that would be like an about us, how we help you, or something a little more personable,
Well,
how we work with you, or
I
something
I
like
love
that.
where you're going, and I think that this is a good broad stroke, but you're right. So if Catherine establishes that this is who I am and this is how I talk to
Yeah.
you, let me plan your best life
Mhm.
vacation, right?
Yeah.
So here it could be maybe incorporating some, here's how the magic happens.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, something a little.
it makes
Okay,
it,
yeah.
yeah, it makes it fun,
Mhm.
it makes it light, and it's also a way for you to pull in some of the things that are uniquely you.
Yeah.
Drea I'm going to tell this story.
Go ahead. I don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
It isn't planned.
So we create a oh, you just took away. Look, you just knocked me off the camera there. Hold on.
What happened?
It followed you. This is not the Drea show.
Oh,
Calm down.
okay. It's
I
okay.
s-
It seems like the camera loves me, so I'm just gonna.
I see, guys, this is what I'm working with here. This is what I'm working with. We're not going to do AI tracking there. You just totally, no, that's not acceptable. All right. So what I was gonna say is that we're getting laughing emojis here. This is a comedy show. Catherine's like trying to get real feedback on her website, and we're cutting out.
Website is gonna be fun.
It is. It
You know,
is gonna be so
this is
much
a great
fun.
time. I'm having a great time.
But what I was gonna say is we were working on this card, and I took a stab at the copy, and I was trying to go a little. I was stretching the boundaries. I did a whole galactic vibe, and happy birthday or congratulations on your next
Yeah.
revolution around the sun, or something like that. I was in space vibe. And I knew I was smart enough to say, this does not need to live in my head. I need to let Drea look at it. And she did a great job because she said, oh, I totally get it. When I read it, it sounds like you.
Yeah.
but I was speaking on behalf of the entire company. So she tweaked it. She kept the fun playfulness. So I stretched out to intergalactic vibes, and then she took it back down into a little
Back
more of
to
a safe, yeah, back to earth, but she still kept that fun vibe. And ultimately, what I think we ended up is we took something that could have been very generic, happy birthday, and we expressed our brand personality.
Yeah.
And that's what, even taking, if you saw this somewhere, if it came preloaded in a template and you're like, I like that, I'm gonna have this section. Little word
It
choices
is, yeah.
can make a difference. But I loved what you said about bringing this section up,
Yep.
because if we say, here's about Catherine, Catherine signs it, right? And then here's how it works, that's a natural progression,
It is. I
right?
think, yeah, it tells a little bit of a more cohesive story of like it's more structured, I think, at least from my point of view. Same thing, because I think that I think the promotions, they wouldn't even be ready, you know what I mean, to jump into it until they saw exactly how it worked. So they would be probably looking at other places in your website to see how I can even go about getting these promotions. So I would definitely just move that up, move that down.
Yeah, and maybe what I would suggest here, I love that you have testimonials, but maybe you only do 3 testimonials here and then go into the promotions.
Yeah.
Then I've now
See what I
gotten
have to say.
a personal story, how to work with you, and then social proof that people actually like you,
Yeah, a lot of 5
right?
stars.
You're not just making it up as you go along, right? They like you. And then let me look at some of these promotions. And what I love about the promotions is, for on the immediate pass through, I can see cruises, I
Yep.
can see getaways with Delta. It does convey, it signals that you do cruises, all inclusives.
Yeah.
It gives a lot more. So good job there.
Yeah.
I just think the reordering would make sense.
Yeah. I think also with the testimonials, if you did want to keep just adding a little bit more, I do think that 3 is enough. I think the 3 I have seen, but you could also do a slider, right? Like
Yeah.
you could just put them like right next to each other, so they're always like rotating a little bit. If you wanted to keep them, because I know, I mean, it can be important, right? Like social proof. I mean, I am a big reviewer. I do not buy anything without looking at the reviews ever. Like that's just that could be a personal thing, but I don't. So I'm sure a lot of people also don't, you know?
Right.
And I don't think you necessarily need to call all the testimonials,
Yeah.
but I think you have 3 here, and then you have 3
Oh yeah.
elsewhere. So you're able to space them throughout. And that can be really, really handy and a great way. Maybe you have a page that's very picture heavy, which people love pictures and they love videos. So definitely have them. But it's a great way for you to break it up a little bit and show just a little bit. Let me give you a breather. Let me give your eyes a breather. Let them devour some of this social proof here. So a good way to break it up and have the content all over the place. All right, and now we get down to your monthly tips and deals. So let me ask you this, Catherine. Do you actually send out monthly tips and deals?
Yes.
There you go.
You know what? I have asked that question before and people say no. So
I
kudos.
use Email Plus.
You know what?
Why?
Just so you know, guys, everybody applied to on World Via Pro. You can search for website Throwdown, and everybody applied. Catherine was the very first person
Yeah.
to apply to do this website Throwdown, and I had no idea she was using Email Plus and sites. So very, very cool. Glad that you're taking advantage of it. So glad that you're using it. So with Email Plus, are you taking advantage of some of the content that our team puts in there, or are you building
Yeah,
your
some of it, and then I add my own.
Wow.
A beautiful mix of both.
You should do a show just about Email Plus and you can invite Catherine back. I love it.
You're gonna be sick and tired of us.
I love it. I love it. Um, so this is another area where I think, especially get your website up, make sure you have all the things like Catherine has, but your website's never done. And this is an area where if they're not ready to schedule time with you, which is okay, as long as you get on their radar, that's great. But the next action that you want them to take is to subscribe to get your emails. And this is one that right out of the gate, when you're building your website or trying to publish your site, maybe you don't have all the creative juices flowing to come up with this. But here is what sometimes you start with a newsletter and it starts out one way, and then you learn from how people, what they like about it, what they don't like about it. It evolves into something else, and it becomes again uniquely you. I know, Catherine, I love that you take the content that we put into Email Plus and then you tweak it and make it yours. That's a beautiful thing. But here I can see this kind of intro on so many different newsletter signups. So this is where I would say I would really personalize it, like get Catherine's monthly tips and deals, or what is Catherine thinking about travel today? Like, have fun with it and ensure that you're talking about something that you're actually going to deliver on. So the reason why I was like trying to give you a hard time, because you specifically called out monthly tips and deals. And I'm like, do you send it monthly? And you said, yes, I do. I can tell you so many people say they do a monthly or a weekly newsletter and they say, oh, it's been a few months. So whatever you put here, deliver on it. Don't make it sound like it is the cure to everything bad in the world, because it's probably not. But it is your piece of heaven that you drop into people's inbox. It's your email goodness. So make sure you talk about it that way. Does that make sense? Catherine, does anybody have any feedback on your newsletter? Is there something that people like the most?
You just want more, like if I'm doing any specials, groups, that kind of thing. So I've been playing around today with the landing pages
Yes.
to see how I can work those for sending them out.
That's beautiful. So creating landing pages for everybody watching. Landing pages are standalone pages on the web. So they're not a part of your website environment. Sometimes they can be. You can create sites, pages that are not connected to the navigation. And those can work as landing pages. But like with a tool like Email Plus, you can build unlimited landing pages. And what it does, we've all interacted with them. It's like, click this button to learn more about Catherine's next trip to Alaska, which Alaska is a bit of a stretch when you're doing all-inclusives and cruises. But I mean,
like, I don't want it
Alaskan
to be
cruises.
cold, and we're just going to Alaska.
Yeah, I know. I completely went in a different direction. But they're ones that you can stand up really quick. They don't have to live forever like the rest of your website. And they're a great marketing tool to use in your toolbox. So I'm glad that you're using them. Very good to pair with social media and with email marketing. But if you are doing these groups, or that maybe there's well, I mean, any size group really, if you've put together these very specific sailings, or you have this focus on this particular sailing that you've put together, and you do that on a regular basis, that's another thing I would convey in this, because not all groups are going to be a discount. It's going to be about the experience that you're selling. So you don't want to necessarily lead with, my discounted groups. You just want to talk about your amazing group travel opportunities or something like that. But really talk about what your promise is. On your email newsletter, I would recommend that you don't collect the phone number. Because if you remove the phone number, now I love having a phone number, but on an email sign up, you want less is more. You want to capture the email address, because then you can convince them through all the emails that you send to maybe submit a form for something, or collect more information. But sometimes I'm not ready to commit to a phone number yet. I can give you my email. I can't give you my phone number.
I mean, I feel the same way about a lot of things. When we make that like a required field, I'm like, absolutely not. I am very tough on websites, unfortunately. And like, and anything that I put out there, because I think you might not be quite ready for that step yet.
Right.
People get and it's a fair thing to do, to get like, personal and like very guarded about your like phone number and details and stuff. So
yeah. Now, if you're doing a form to say, I would like to inquire
That's
about a
different, yeah.
European vacation.
Right.
Oh, if I don't have a phone number, I'm
I
not even
can't, yeah,
responding to it
yeah.
because I will email you and I will call you and text you. I need to be able to get a hold of you.
Yeah,
So
things
that's
like
just
that.
something for the newsletter. You want to make it the easiest conversion point on your website. So someone who's visiting your website, who's unknown to you, becomes known to you
Yeah.
through that conversion point. So glad that you have it here. And then, oh, I love this. We've got another contact button.
Yeah.
We've got trust signals. So these are ways that that Catherine is using other brands to put their stamp of approval on her. It makes people feel
Yeah.
good. So good job. I would suggest that if you make this more, instead of having it all stacked on top of each other.
Oh, I couldn't get it all to work. There's certain things that I'm not good at with on the website, so.
Okay.
Well, that's okay. Those types of things we can help you figure
Yeah.
out, especially if you're using a platform like Sites. We in pretty much any platform we can
Yeah.
probably help you navigate it. It might take us a minute to
Yeah, it
figure it
takes a
out,
bit, yeah.
but if you had them going along, you've got a lot of negative space on either side here. So I feel like if you had them go along horizontally, I think
think
that
so.
would go pretty far. And then we've got our wonderful social media links. So now I can connect with you and go further with our relationship. I love it.
Can I go up for a second?
Yeah, you absolutely
like,
can.
on that form right here,
On here?
on the newsletter. Yeah. So we have like, I think it's like either one or the other, right? So we either add email on the actual thing because we have name and then phone and then phone. And then we're missing the
The
top.
double name and phone and black off.
Mm,
I got it off of the top one because it was the same thing was with the email, but I could not get it removed for there.
okay, interesting. Yeah, that might also be something good to look at as well.
So Daniela said, great advice. Guess who will be removing the phone number field from the newsletter sign up form? I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So obviously we're giving you impressions, right? And you've put this up on your own. It is absolutely okay to tweak these things. You're not turning off customers. We just want to make sure that we're giving you some advice that you can work with,
Some
right?
actionable
Yeah,
advice.
and you can reach out to since you built it on Sites, you can reach out to our team and say,
Yeah.
how do I get rid of this extra text?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pop over and look in the navigation. I just want to pop over to all inclusives, all inclusive resorts. Gosh, don't you wish you were there right now?
Yes.
Yeah, just the sound of the water against that rock. I don't like swimming, but
neither.
I love being by water.
I can't swim in the ocean. Like sometimes I'll swim in like the pools and stuff and like I pretend like I can and like some people are like you're looking like you're trying not to drown, but I love the ocean. If I wasn't doing marketing, I would be doing marine biology. I'm terrified of sharks, but I
Well,
think it would be a great experience.
You took it to another level.
I just wanted to
I
get it out
I
there.
just wanted to. She's like,
and I are getting to know each other.
Yes.
It's a good place to be.
I love it. So here, I love that we got all-inclusive resorts, and we immediately go to Sandals and Beaches, a familiar brand. So somebody who's
Beautiful
looking for all-inclusives, they're probably familiar with Sandals and Beaches. And I love that you've incorporated a video here. Video so good, especially this type of video where it's all the imagery that I want to see when I'm thinking about an all-inclusive. So
Can I just
yeah.
say, like the water, beautiful. Blue water like this, it's just gorgeous.
Are you talking generally or about her website?
Both. It
Oh,
just
okay.
works really well. But the water, just like when I see water like this, that's what really like sells it for me. Because I don't want to go to. I used to live in Miami. I don't want to go to those beaches. I'm tired of them. They're not blue like this. I want to go to that one.
Right. And that's somebody clicking on the all-inclusive.
Yeah.
This is what they want to see. So I love that. Something that I would say here is you've got a lot of copy,
Yeah.
the words on the page here about sandals, and this is a square, this video. I would trim this copy down to just be maybe a paragraph or a paragraph in a sentence, just something very simple. So we don't have all this negative space on the left and you bring up beaches and sandals higher. So if I'm looking at this section, I've got my Sandals and
Yeah.
Beaches buttons right here. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So think about it visually. You want the text to be good, you want the copy to be good,
Yeah.
but think about it connecting to I'm enjoying this moment right now
Mhm.
about sandals and beaches. Whereas if I scroll it further, that picture starts to get chopped up. And look at that. Oh, now that picture looks a little
Blurry,
grainy.
yeah.
yes, and I've been trying to, I've got to go back on their website and see if I can get any better ones.
Yeah. To me, it looks like it might be a very small image that then we're stretching to fill this space. That's what it's giving me right now. The type of how it's blurry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question as
Yeah.
well, Catherine. Have you looked at your website on your phone? Have you done like a mobile search and this looks good. Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I know that some website builders, when you have some like elements here and then here, so like you're going diagonal with your images, right?
Right,
Have your video here, it looks a little strange on mobile version because there's a big gap because it's not taking into account that it's like an element in there.
right.
That makes sense. So sometimes you kind of have to do like a one after the other situation. But I think, yeah, as long as it looks good on mobile as well, because that's another thing. You have to think about the mobile experience too. Like how many people are
First,
watching this? Yes, in
first.
mobile. Yeah.
Yeah. So Google a few years back said think mobile first, and
Yeah.
that was their battle
Yeah.
cry. And I mean, we all think, oh, well, that's great. I have a phone. Of course, I want to think mobile first. But when you think mobile first in design,
Yeah.
there are some choices that you make that have to fit within that format, right? So it's the amount of copy you
Yeah.
use, the size of the images that you use. So it's restrictive, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
we're so used to websites being designed mobile
Mhm.
first that when we're on a website that is not, and they use more of the widescreen experience on
It
the
happens.
desktop,
Yeah.
it's tough. Now, I want to add, Paul had a very good comment about the buttons that I
Mhm.
was just talking about for beaches and sandals. He said, or you could put the buttons under the picture, which I think that's
Yeah.
just as good.
Mhm.
So again, I'd look at it to Drea's point. How does it look
On
on
mobile.
mobile? I see. I always say mobile. So like
You are.
mobile
Yeah, you are.
is,
Yeah, on mobile, the video, you have the video first, then the copy, and then the buttons.
yep.
Gorgeous. That's
Yeah,
yeah,
so
that's
it's
how it
it's
should
gonna
be.
yeah, it's gonna go left, right, but you still on mobile, this text is gonna be a big section for me
It
to
is
scroll
the
through.
scroll.
So
Yeah.
getting it a little tighter, I think that would be helpful. Um, yeah, dreams, resorts, and spas. Yeah, I love the pictures are just not I'm not in love with the
Right,
pictures. They're getting a little pixelated. But that I would say if you get too worried about what pictures I'm collecting, then you don't worry about the copy,
Yeah.
and then you don't go live with the page. So you can always go back and change these
Yeah.
things. You've got great placeholders. So you're in a good spot. All right, now I'm going to pop over to cruises because that's the one that I think should be the next in our journey. Cruise destinations, ocean cruise. Um, let's see. I want to scroll down to see. Okay, so you break up river cruise and ocean cruise.
I
I'm
had a question. Should that be two separate pages?
I would recommend you do that. I'm glad that
Okay,
you asked.
okay,
Because then that still stays in your messaging around I do all inclusives and I do cruises, but ocean and river generally attract two different types of
right,
clients. So I was going to say either do that or instead of saying cruise destinations, up here say ocean and river cruises, and then don't worry about the subheader so you can get right into the images and the story.
Yep.
Um, yes, yes, I want to be in all the places.
That's so pretty.
Let's see. Is this the Mediterranean or is that looks like Dover?
now it was, oh, where was that? Because I put it in a search engine. I got off somebody's website.
Okay. Because it's giving me the cliffs of Dover. So all right. Very cool. River cruise, European rivers, Mississippi, very, very fruitful. Um what is the button going to Alma Waterways? Where's that taking you?
On my co-branded site.
Okay. So if you're going to send anybody to a co-branded site, which is the same for that sandals and beaches, correct?
Right.
Okay. I would tell them dive a little deeper with my Ama Waterways website or something like that, pages,
Yeah.
something like that that puts the stamp on it, because I don't necessarily know that that's where you're
Right.
wanting to go. Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny because with emails and with websites, you actually need to be really explicit and say,
You do.
do this, click here to do this.
Yeah.
It's yeah, you need to do that. All right, let's go to Europe. Europe, explore the world. Western Europe.
I like that contrast between the gray and the white. I will forever be fan of a duotone in a page because I feel like it boxes it in. You know, like when we see
Without being so
two,
restrictive.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you used a very heavy color, you would
Yeah,
just
it
be
would
like,
it would get lost,
yeah.
right? Like unless you're trying to highlight that you do Western Europe, I think that this is like a really great. I like it. I use it a lot. You know, I like the contrast between the white and the gray.
I don't think anybody was expecting to hear duotone on today's website Throwdown. Oh, we're now doing it again. We've got the AI tracking on. Okay, so I love that we've got the locations. Something from an SEO perspective, and this is a note across the website and for anybody watching. These bolded headlines, the sub headlines that we're seeing on these pages, they are coded in a way that it tells Google and AI search tools,
Yep.
this is a very important piece of information about what's on this page. Okay, so I don't want you to get gross with it, but is this Southern Europe vacations, or Southern Europe family vacations, or something like that, using some of the phrases that you want people to search for.
Okay.
If you can work them in without it being this grossly long headline, it is very helpful for you to incorporate that kind of optimization within your site. So think about, why do you have somebody looking at Southern Europe right now? Is it because you want people to explore Southern Europe on their next holiday or vacation? Try to figure out how you can make that subhead speak to what somebody would be searching for, and then make sure you incorporate some of those same terms within this copy that's underneath the header. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we've done that page, and now let's go pop over to the blog. New destination and ideas. Welcome to the Best Life Travel blog, your go-to source for all things cruising, European adventures, and all-inclusive getaways. Dive into expert tips, destination highlights, and travel inspiration designed to make your next journey unforgettable. Let's explore the world together. Your dream vacation awaits. That's a nice setup there.
Yeah.
I would love if you ever did a little video where you said exactly that or something similar. So I got to watch that just before I dove into your blog. That would be some extra special way to make sure that people get a taste of what you sound like, how you, when do you smile when you talk about different things. It goes far. It goes really far, and it doesn't have to be an overly produced thing. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I'm seeing there's obviously regular blogs happening here. So that's the first thing I look at with outside of the visuals of a blog is when was the last time the website posted a blog article?
Yeah.
So love seeing that you did one this week and you did one last week. So that's not only, that's signaling to me that you're alive and you're well and you're creating content. Oops, there it goes again. Why does that do that?
I think
That
I don't know.
Are you breaking it, Drea?
I think on
Oops.
purpose. Like
Now everybody can see what the studio
sabotage.
really looks like. They think it looks all very polished, and then they realize it's not.
We haven't gotten to that part of the studio yet.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Man, it's just edge. There we go. Okay, come on at any moment now. There we go. Drea is still here. She hasn't left the building. I think it was me. I think when I stuck my hands up, I gesticulate too much.
Oh, that's the problem.
Yeah, I think it's actually me.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
I was gonna say, I really like that the first two blogs are relevant to what you are doing and what you're booking and selling as well. Because the first thing you see is like what to pack for cruises. Oh, that gets me excited. Because I am someone that is a planner. I need to know these things. So that's a really, really great resource to put out there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it also helps from a discoverability, from
Mhm.
an optimization standpoint. Again, you're using that header whenever there's a blog roll like this where all the blog is lined up. It's signaling to Google and AI that these are important
Yeah.
titles that would probably be a part of somebody's search. So when you write a blog article, don't just think about a fun title or a clever title. Think about, would somebody search for something, be served this article and want to click on it out of the context? They've never been to your website before. So that title is really what gets them in. And you want them to be able to click on an article and see good content. Now, European,
Change that picture. I know.
yeah, I was like, I was
Don't
ready
that
for
look like a
European.
nice European picture?
Yeah, nothing says
You've never
Europe
seen
like
palm
palm
trees?
trees before. I mean, in Spain, they're there in
They
Spain.
are. Never been,
Um,
but I would take your word for
yeah,
it.
take my word for it. So I think this is great content. I'd love to see more pictures if you can, if you're writing articles
Yeah.
where you've got pictures. And also, when this is something, as you're building your blog, right? You're adding pages to the blog, you're creating new articles, and Google sees that. They're like, oh, they are adding content to their website. We like that. So that helps you with your ranking and your discoverability. Now, as you grow with your website and your business, you're gonna find your groove when it comes to creating content. So you might start out with just plain text and one image. That's okay.
Yeah.
Keep on doing that. But over time, you might add some video. You might add some other pictures. You might tell a whole story with your photos.
Yeah.
Don't worry if right now you're doing those articles that way. You don't have to go back to all the articles and redo them.
Yeah.
Now, it is beneficial if you're getting some traffic on those pages to add more content. But the thing is your blog is really just like any kind of journal. It's going to evolve with you, and it's okay. Like you can test new ideas, especially in the blog area. But I really like this. What were you?
I wonder if, and I don't know, because we really kind of scrolled like the first two articles and stuff, but I wonder if you have this is your website, right? Like this is your business, and I am wondering if we have a kind of like you were saying about the newsletter, like
Mhm.
a blog that you want to put out there, Catherine, like something of a here are my, right? Like my travel tips for visiting
Oh,
blank.
okay.
Okay.
I wasn't following you there, and then
I know, I saw your
yeah,
eyes, but I was like,
I know my
"Oh,
eyes don't
thanks."
lie. I'm like, where are you going, Drea? Because I'm not with you. Really good point. This is something I'm so really glad you brought this up, because people will work on their blogs and they'll work on their email newsletter. They can go in both
Yeah.
places, right? So whatever you work on for your blog, make that into a newsletter. Whatever you work on in a newsletter, add that to your blog.
What I learned backpacking in Europe,
Yeah,
like any experience that you've had.
yeah,
Kind
so
of
you
like,
can do the broad articles like, oh, palm trees in Spain, right? You
who
can talk
would have
about that,
thought?
right? And then you can say, let me tell you about my 10 days in Spain. And then that is a very different take. And people do love anything that you can do to open the door on the soul of your business and really infuse yourself in it. And that's my biggest piece of advice. I love the site.
Yep.
You're doing some really great things. There's a couple of design tweaks that I would say that are pretty easy for you to tackle, but you got a good website, Catherine.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, is there any open-ended questions for you, Catherine, that you want to hit before we wrap up?
Well, who would I talk to? Because like whenever I change things, it'll come up like when you republish, it'll say you have these two errors that need fixed. And then who can help with that? Because I don't understand any of that.
Oh, well, that's very easy. So, if you contact member success, and you say, I've got a sites question, and then you say, if you got a screenshot of the error that you've got, get that over to our team. So there's a few people, and we know our Sherry over there. She's been even building sites, a site website, and tweaking it as she goes along. So she's somebody very much in it,
Yeah.
working on it. So if she doesn't know the answer, she will find it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you just send in, just in the subject line, say a sites question, and we'll be
Yeah.
glad to help you with it.
Sherry's the best.
Yeah, Sherry is the best. Well, actually, Sherry is the best, but Catherine's the best because she was our very first guest.
Catherine, woo!
Well, I made it through, see?
You did, and you did
This
a
is great.
fantastic
Yeah.
job. And everybody who's watching live, please give Catherine big kudos
Yeah.
because it is, when you've been working on something, it's a personal thing.
It is personal.
And I love your willingness to say, "Hey, how could I make it better?" And I'm ready. So,
Yeah.
whatever we can do to help, please let us know. But I'm so grateful that you joined us for this.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So if anybody, so we're going to do this most Fridays. There's a couple of Fridays we can't, right?
Yeah.
But it's going to be on the calendar. You can register for it to watch. But if somebody wants to put their website into the mix, how do they do it, Drea?
You can go to World Via Pro and search for website throwdown. Oh, I just hit my elbow on
You
the
made the
table.
camera shake, you did everything.
And yeah, it'll just be a Cognito form. You can just go ahead and fill it out, put your website information in there, and then I promise I am looking at them, like just going through them. So it's not like we're never gonna get to them. But yeah, we'll definitely do our best to get to your website too. So please keep putting submissions because we have a lot.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot. We'll be doing this for a while. We'll be doing this for a while. So if you want to watch this on demand or the future episodes, they're going to be available in World Via Pro in episodes and series. And then we'll also have available on our YouTube channel. You can find our YouTube channel on YouTube, World Via Travel Network. And then please like and subscribe.
Yeah,
So
it helps a lot.
Catherine, thank you again. And thank you guys for tuning in live. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Catherine.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Now I gotta hit my little goodbye and everything is blocking it. So everybody can see me.
Still do.